All right, so yeah, so the next thing we're gonna segue into, and what is real versus what we feel. Rapper Jeezy has been in the news lately with his interviews with Nia Long, and he's talking about his divorce and his traumas growing up. Which again, I would love to unpack some of the stuff that he's talked about as far as what he grew up in. It's really mind blowing to me. I didn't know, but one of the things that caught headlines. And I don't know if it was cap or if it was truth. Or are we changing the narrative or are we running away from accountability? He made the claim that said that real niggas don't cheat. We will play the clip right here.
Real niggas don't cheat.
You don't think so?
Hell no.
I kind of understand what you mean when you say that.
They do not.
I understand what you mean when you say that.
It's something in us, that makes us want to be right.
Melvin
So
just like cap.
we will play this one more time. We're gonna let I need my dogs to get in the house. You know?
Real niggas don't cheat.
You don't think so?
Hell no.
I kind of understand what you mean when you say that.
They do not.
I understand what you mean when you say that.
It's something in us, that makes us want to be right.
So now
y'all got that reputation.
You said what?
I said y'all got a bad reputation. That's what
Who got a bad reputation?
Rappers.
So obviously, so my mind raced to thinking, okay, so is this cap or is this true? Because there's been known black men who have cheated, known men who have cheated. But I think what he's trying to, I think he's trying to change the narrative of saying like, hey, well, if you're a real one, then you're not going to cheat. But I don't know. So I want us to have an open, honest dialogue about cheating, what it means to actually have those thoughts. Is there fact? Is it fiction? Is there what? So I'm gonna start off with the other man on the panel right now. Quez, how are you doing?
No, I'm just messing with you. No, I think his the way he voiced it was probably not well thought out. But I understand what he's trying to say, just kind of like Nia Long said. Like, I kind of hear you, and I kind of hear you. I think what his real point is that men in healthy relationships, or even just healthy men in general, don't cheat.
Amen.
You know, because we're able to communicate and have conversations about what's affecting us and, you know, what we're going through, what we're unhappy with, what we need from you as an individual. And a healthy man, instead of cheating, will walk away 9 times out of 10. You know, now 20-year-old me may have had a different answer. But me at 40, you know what I'm saying, after some growing and some healing and some dealing with myself, yeah, I can honestly say, like, if I'm a cheat, I might as well just not be with you.
Right.
Because if I feel that strongly, you know, to just go out there and get something else, why are you here? I don't really need you here. If I feel like you aren't enough to satisfy whatever cravings or whatever the case may be, or if I feel like you don't complete what I have going on, not the why are you here kind of, you know, like you ain't nobody, but like if we're not compatible anymore, or you know, there's a lot that goes into a relationship. So to get to cheating, it takes a whole lot of steps. That's just how I feel. It takes a whole lot of steps to get to cheating. You don't just wake up in the morning like, you know what? She ain't cooked no bacon this morning. I'm finna go have sex with somebody else, man. Fuck this. I'm tired of this. Like that's not how this works. You know what I'm saying?
And hold on, because we got Melvin in the comments. Melvin, you can jump on any time. Melvin says, Michael Jordan is so many people's hero, and that Negro had 8 girlfriends and a wife. He also says, "Why are we taking moral advice from a drug dealer? Are we really about to go there?"
Now that's
People,
funny.
people are people. We fall short when we try to put people in categories. Cheryl says, "You want to cheat? You you deal a boy. You deal a boy."
You know what she meant. Cut it out. You're still a boy.
uh, I had to be like, Melvin says it really comes down to how big the pinky toe is, though. There he
Is
goes
that
with
what
his
it's
toes
about,
and stuff.
Melvin?
That's what it's about. So I got cheated
Yes.
on because I had a little pinky toe.
Now, now
Melvin.
my
Wasn't enough there to grasp onto.
now see my thing is it's like I think for I don't know when it comes to cheating I think it's a thing between greed. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not satisfied with what your girl's getting you, or it might be like a game or something. It may be a thing to even just stroke your ego. So I think that's why some men cheat or they get put in that predicament. I know like the only time that I've cheated was when I was trying to actually get back at an ex-girlfriend, because she cheated on me. So I'm like, all right, well, two can play that game. Me moving like the sag that I am, I'm like, all right, well, cool. I'm gonna do me too. At the end of the day, it didn't really do anything but make me feel worse. Like Quest said, why am I here? I mean, what's the whole point? What are we doing together then? So, and then from that day on, we broke up, but I chose to remain single and just have friends and just date. So I'd never be put in that predicament of actually having to cheat. Because I do feel what Quez is saying and what Jeezy is saying, and if you got to sit up there and lie, what I'm saying, sneak around, what I'm saying, be conniving, then yeah, you're not moving as a man. You're moving as a boy. You know what I'm saying? Real men don't have to sit up there and lie. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be deceiving. And so yeah, I would never want to be put in a predicament to where I had to lie. So I would just always be truthful and just keep it a buck. But I think, if people aren't really necessarily like, true to themselves, they can't be true to somebody else. So, ladies, how do you guys feel about what Jeezy has said?
I mean, listen, I'll be honest. I agree. Now, the reason why the first time when I heard it, I was like, it's because he said real niggas don't cheat. And I'm like, well, what so long has been termed as a real nigga is not what has been anything good, not in my opinion. You know what I mean? We talking about gangsters and people who shoot and this and that. So, maybe the term that he used was kind of like throwing everybody off. It kind of threw me off too, because I'm like, wait a minute. You talking about the gangster rappers who talk about, you know what I mean, sleeping with 100 girls at a time? Or are we talking about real good men? And there's a difference between good men and what we look up to in society. There's a difference between good woman and the Cardi B or Nicki Minaj songs that we sing and call her a G. She might be a G, she might be this or that, but we don't. That's not a good woman and that's not a good man. So that's what kind of threw me off when he said it the first time, because I heard it on your story and I was like, wait, what kind of people is he talking about? He's talking about a good man. Now, a good man with character. Yes, good men with character don't cheat, because cheating is lying. It's breaking a vow that you set. I mean, like I always tell guys, because I live here in Dubai right now. And so there'll be the guys like, oh, what about people who have multiple wives? Like they can have up to 4 wives. I'm like, well, whatever your agreement is, that's your agreement. I know ladies in some areas that have multiple husbands. That's your agreement. That's your agreement. But whatever your agreement is your agreement. And I tell these guys, you can have 3 wives, 4 wives, and still be a cheater. In fact, we had this discussion at the basketball court because I love to go watch basketball. And these 2 brothers sitting on the ground trying to defend cheating. And I'm like, but even if you have 5 wives, 10 wives, you can still cheat and break the covenant that you made. Now, if your covenant's not that, your covenant's not that. But if that's your covenant, yes, you lack character when you step outside of that. Whatever you agree to, when you step outside of that, you lack character. And I tell them, this is how I know you lack character. Because if I tell you, okay, fine, one of your wives did it. Whoa! I tell them exactly. That's when you know you lack character. When somebody else, when you can do it, and excuse, but when somebody else does it to you, then all of a sudden, Jada has an entanglement, and the whole world's up in flames. But Michael Jordan had 8 entanglements with a wife. Nobody
I
said
think
it
it's
did.
just kind of
So
like the moral compass of a woman. You know what I'm saying?
it,
Will,
it's the
Will, how
integrity.
you doing, brother? You gotta unmute yourself, bro. All
I am
right, here we
blessed
go.
to
More
be
feedback.
on. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Perfect timing, everybody. Happy Friday to everybody.
Happy Friday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me chime in real quick. And I'm gonna be politically correct because I prayed all day about this subject and I said I'm
Okay.
not gonna do no trouble
Okay.
maker. Amen.
Let me mute
Let's
myself.
hear you.
Everybody mute. Everybody mute.
I think that whenever we have this subject and we talk about cheating and we talk about commitments and things like that, I think that most people are very one-sided when it comes to their interpretation and their perception of it. Guys would always talk about what their girl doesn't do, so I'm gonna go get it somewhere else, and vice versa. The girl's gonna say, "Well, you ain't been faithful." Well, why? I know from personal experience that with many of my boys, with me myself and my relationships that I've had over the years, it's been many a nights in which that same commitment in which we say that we don't have or we get blamed for not having, that same commitment led me to lay in a bed that was cold, not being able to touch the one that I wanted to hold. Oh, I rhymed on purpose. Man, and we have to eat that. Not being able to talk, not being able to have freedom, not being able to be embraced, to feel secure, but we still have to stay. We still have to, we have to fulfill our obligations as a man. And so we get little to no credit as men, in relationships. And I've talked to a lot of my friends on both sides because I talk to a lot of couples. I mean, most girlfriends, fiancés, and wives aren't doing anything special for that man that is there with them every day, 10, 15 years of their life, good, bad, and different. If a person chooses you every day, that's special. But what we get as men, more rules, you better not mess up. You're going to be back in the doghouse. So it's kind of like a give and take, but a lot of times it seems like the giving part, the sacrificing part, because we as men, for the most part, we don't vocalize a lot of stuff that we have to endure. We just eat it because it's what we need to do. It gets to a point to where it's like, okay, if I can't get it from here, I'm gonna get it from somewhere else. Is that fair?
So
Go ahead.
I want the ladies to unpack on what you just said.
Right. So, I mean, here's my question for God, because I hear this thing a lot. And I said that based on statistics, married women are the most unhappy group of people. If you talk to women, emotional support, a lot of complaints. My thing is to men, could you justify, because you talk about not being heard in a relationship, could you justify women taking the same approach to relationships that men take? Rather than sitting there unhappy, eating ice cream, crying about it, talking to their girls about it. Could you justify them just cheating and saying I just was unhappy? Do better? Could that be justified on a woman's side? That's my question. You think it
So that's the thing. So back in my heyday, I've known plenty of women who would sit up there and have boyfriends and have husbands, and they was cheating. And they would use the excuse, well, he's not giving me what I need. He's not giving me the emotional support. Or sometimes it's like they feel like they're getting back or whatever. It's one of those things. So just as much as they put the notion out there that men cheat, there are a lot of women who are out there cheating, and there are women who actually cheat just for the sport of it.
Mm-hmm. But my question is though, because if a woman cheats, I'm not gonna sit up there and justify it. My question is, because when I hear from men, whenever I speak to men about this, we have this discussion at the basketball court. They're always trying to justify it. There's a reason. But when I speak to women, I'll be honest, majority not trying to justify it. My question is, why are we trying to figure out how to justify it? That's my only thing. We're talking about do real men cheat, but why when it comes to men, I'm asking the men on the panel, why is it always trying to be justified? Is it because it's normalized? I do understand that it's normalized among men. But why is it always trying to be justified when it's coming from men? That's my question. I'm a mute.
Let me chime in real quick. I don't like justification because that's like giving an excuse. I deal with like real life situations. If you're unhappy, it's your responsibility for you to be happy. If you have a deficiency in a need, I think that your first responsibility would be to go to your partner. But if your partner is either unwilling or unable to take care of it, then you can go take care of it yourself. I have a different mindset. I'm not a conservative type thinker, so I really do feel like finding alternative solutions is okay, because at the end of the day, relationships are about the stability and the longevity of it. And if that means that you need to go find you a friend for a couple of days so that you won't feel as lonely or something like that, it's up to you. What's your give and take? Are you in a relationship to stay, to make it work? Or are you in a relationship just to get what you want? And I think a lot of people are selfish when it comes to relationships. It's all about what they want. And when they unhappy, they ready to go. And that's why relationships don't work for the most part. So it's like, why not cheat? You ain't here to stay anyway. You're not about me. So why not?
Wouldn't it make more sense to just leave?
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. Like, if you are not happy, yeah, I was too. And if you are not happy, like, why would you cheat? Like, you want to go experience other things, but you don't want your girl to go, or you don't want your man to leave. Ain't that selfish?
That sounds selfish.
I don't want to be with you, but I don't want you to go nowhere. So I'm going to go cheat.
There you go.
And then you're going to be home when I get home.
There you go. There you go.
No.
Exactly. Listen, I said this to my ex because after he broke up, he decided to become a cheater, and he was cheating on his new girlfriend. And I said, listen, you're not in a relationship. You're lying. You're acting. You're an actor. You're not in a relationship. You're not experiencing the relationship. You think you're working through it and making it work. You're not making it work. You are cheating. Cheating is like you're playing a game and you think you won, but you didn't win because you cheated. That's not a game. You didn't experience the game. You didn't work hard. That's not working through a relationship. Cheating is not working through a relationship.
No,
cheating
it really
isn't. Acting like you work through a relationship. That's why when the cheating comes out and it all comes, then it comes boiling, it comes crashing down. Oh my God, why'd you ruin the family and leave? There is no relationship. The relationship is broken. When you cheat in a game, you forfeit it, making it to the end. Hold on. Because I said that we're so focused these days on longevity rather than actually having a good, healthy relationship. Cheating is not just going out in the relationship. Cheating is lying. See, now there's people who have open relationships. If that's going to be your thing, sit down and talk about it. Do you? But when you start lying to your partner, shucking, jiving, that's cheating. That's not a relationship anymore. You think you're in a relationship. You're acting like you're in a relationship. You're sporting to everybody like you're in a relationship.
Thackeray says, but y'all are talking about people in relationships or married folks because there's a big difference.
No, there's not. There's not.
Break it down.
I think once you make that commitment, once you're like, I'm with you and you are with me.
Yeah, please stop that.
It's done. Like, it's the same thing to me. It's just not on paper. That's how I'm committed to you.
Stop, as a community, we have to stop pretending like having a girlfriend and a boyfriend and having a husband and a wife are two different things. That, you know, maybe
but it is, though.
Theory-wise, it's not. Yeah. Because if you're dating somebody that you don't intend to marry, you're already wasting your damn time.
Yeah, right.
But isn't that the whole point of dating is to try to figure out if you're going to, you know?
So cheating is okay in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Tell Cliff. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not talking about just hanging out, kicking it. We're talking about if you are in a relationship,
yes,
all rules apply to you. You're just practicing for the big day. That's really what that is. When you're in a relationship, you are practicing for the game.
I'm going to have to interject.
The game starts when you say those vows. That's when the game really starts. But right now, you just warming up. You are practicing. You are setting the tone for what your marriage could and should be. You know, stop acting
very true. But there's a huge.
I don't have to be faithful.
There's a huge difference, though, because at the end of the day, It's called infidelity, where in some states, if you're married, that could be grounds for a divorce. Now, if you're not married and this person is quote unquote cheating on you or whatever, you can leave at any time that you want. You can leave just for the simple fact you may not like the way that they make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You may not like the way that this person's having sex. You have the open option to leave. But once you marry, but once you marry,
I see his point in that. I do see your point in that because once you're married, there's legal ties behind it. I get that. But if you're saying, because the question was coming off as, since you're not married, you're just in a relationship, that cheating can almost be like overseen. But once you make that commitment that I'm your girl and you are my man, cheating is not like, oh, okay, well, he cheated on me. We're not married, so I'm just going to do this. Yeah, no, to me, once you make that commitment to me, once you make that commitment,
if that person cheats on you in that relationship, then you have every right to leave. Yeah. You know, but again, so once you marry, because the folks who are married are going to understand this. You know, Quez understand, Tish, you understand, Iration, you understand, D, you're going to understand because you've seen it. Once you marry, it becomes a totally different thing because now children come into play. If there's children, if there's assets, you can't just sit up there and just walk and leave. And especially if we're talking about the whole aspect of being quote unquote religious and making a blood covenant between God, you just can't just pick up and leave, say, oh, this person's not making me happy. You have to actually sit up there and stay to try to work this out. Now, there is leeway for you to leave if this person is cheating on you in a marriage. But if you are not married, there is no obligation, no ties, nothing holding you to this person to where you can cut this person out of your life and find somebody who's actually going to be committed to you. There's a huge difference. Do that in marriage too.
Hold on, because the initial topic was about is cheating okay?
Right.
Why people could cheat.
Right.
And so we keep on talking about these ideal situations when we all know, because anybody who's been in a relationship, there's very few relationships where there's 50-50, where each of us is doing our part.
Please don't say that word. There's women on here who do not like that 50-50 word. It'll be a whole nother.
It don't work. It's not real anyway. So it's always something there which, we have to deal with the other person, whether or not they're not emotional enough, intimate enough, whatever it may be, sexual enough, freaky enough, look good enough, etc., 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 etc. Now we put so much stock on being sexually faithful. Don't mess with any other female, but we don't put that much stock as far as I forgot the lady's name who was talking earlier about the health of the relationships, the health of your partner. I don't see that ever to where the partner and the spouse is like, what can I do to make you as happy as possible? I love you. I adore you. How can I be better for you? It's always, you're not doing this. I'm upset. I want this. I don't like this. This ain't cool to me. I'm unhappy. Hell, y'all both unhappy after a while. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to talk about cheating and be honest about it, we have to talk about both sides. It's one thing to cheat if they're doing everything they're supposed to do. That's stupid. But if that person is unhappy and staying because you love somebody, you're going to stay. Statistically, guys stay longer anyway. We're more loyal in a relationship. We don't want to leave.
Tell my ex.
So two picking that real quick. Two picking that, Will. Two pick. Can we? I hear some shits and giggles around here.
No.
Yeah.
So
no, but
yeah.
No. So basically, what we had talked about before on the previous Facebook Live was we talked about one of the things. Shout out to my cousin Greg. Saying he was talking about resentment. Because that's one thing that does occur within marriages, especially if you're not having open communication or if you have uncommunicated expectations of your partner. There are certain things that you will grow with, and one of them is resentment. And you like, hey, well, I'm over here busting my butt to do X, Y, and Z. When you spoke about the 50-50, because there's women in our comment section or who are watching who hate that term 50-50. They believe that things are traditional and blah, 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 blah. But then you have one person who, like my cousin Greg, who's busting his balls, doing everything to work. And he's asking, well, how come I don't get no type of help? Like everything is falling back on me, and there's a growing resentment. And that's the thing that people don't want to sit up there and they don't want to look at is the resentment. I think a lot of people have this fantasized notion about what it means to actually be in a relationship, the white picket fences, and you're going to walk into the sunset and everything's all hunky dory. But there's real ish that does occur within marriages that people neglect to talk about. And then when it happens in your own marriage or your own relationship, if you want to go, then all of a sudden it becomes detrimental because you weren't prepared, which is why we're having these conversations now. So, you know, if we're talking about, you know, real niggas don't cheat, then we need to have an open, honest conversation as to why people cheat. Because again, we can't just put that tag up on men. Because I'm telling you, some of these women, and I'll even go further, women got game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dudes, us fellas, guys, Jews, we act like we got game, but nah, these women got 10 times more better game than we do, and they played 10 times better than we ever will. You know what I'm saying?
But here's my thing, though. To what
am I lying?
No.
If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm still sitting on the ground.
But here's my thing, though.
Every day.
Will brought up, he said we got to talk about both sides, and I agree with that. Let's talk about both sides. Real women don't cheat. Okay, good women don't cheat. If I say that, of course, everybody's like, of course, we already know that. But when we say real men don't cheat, oh my God, because everybody got a little cheat in them. Unfortunately, a lot of our generation of men, not just our generation, the generation from a long time ago. Listen, our dads, our granddads, let's just be open and honest. A lot of them cheated. They cheated and they cheat. And we're used to it, so we accept it. It's almost like one of those things where it's like, kids shouldn't be disrespectful or kids shouldn't be bad, but we know that kids are kids. And we have this boys will be boys thing. If I say good women don't cheat, you guys would agree. None of y'all are out there looking for a woman who ever cheated. If she cheated, y'all like, whoa, these girls out here. But if you cheated, you know how it is, man. You know, ladies aren't nice. They're not really making us feel good. And so that's the only thing for me. Whenever cheating is brought up with men, I literally said the other night, we were at the basketball court, all the guys were fighting. I said,
can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I think a lot of women don't take into consideration that men usually die a silent death with the fact that we may say it once, we might even say it twice, but usually after that, we don't talk anymore. And if you don't notice the signs of the coldness, of the lack of conversation, the lack of, you know what I mean, whatever it may be, a lot of times men die silent deaths. We get into a routine, and it's a harsh routine because it starts to alienate you. Right. And it's kind of on purpose.
I know.
Like I said, there's a level of resentment of some men I'm out here doing everything possible to provide for my family and be the best man that I can be. And then I can't get certain simple things, you know, because a lot of times with men, it's simple. We're not, don't go buy me I need a new Gucci outfit. We're not doing that. If you date that type of dude, find you another dude. But most men are typically simple, like, you know, I want to come home, the house be clean. You know what I mean? Let me get 30 minutes to myself when I do walk in the door. Let me take a shower, go sit outside or do something. Like, you know what I mean? Our stuff is typically simple. We don't have a whole wide range of emotions. So we're kind of light switch on, light switch off. And once we turn that light switch off, it's going to get dark. It's going to get real dark for everybody.
D, I want you to add your 3 cents, D, because you've been a little quiet. Drop your 3 cents, please, D. I'm just glad to have you back on here.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Right. You already know I'm about to come with some mess.
Come with the mess.
I've been writing notes, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm about to address this shit right now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yes. The first thing about it is, man, please stop that shit, because y'all sit here and say y'all get quiet, y'all do this. But then when you date and you say you can communicate, you can do that. Open your mouth and say it. If women are saying what they want, and you guys are saying you guys always saying we ain't doing this neither, well then why y'all ain't saying what y'all don't want? Then open your mouth. Closed mouth don't get fed. And you know what? Sometimes y'all get mad just because the damn Kool-Aid ain't in the kitchen.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Now it ain't good. Let me tell you this. Most of y'all get married because of lust. It ain't out of... Because if you took your time instead of looking at the big booty and a smile, you might understand and you wouldn't have these damn fucking issues. I can cuss on here, right? Because I can't hold it.
Go ahead.
You just did.
So you can't have afterwards.
But you can't. You won't have all the damn issues you have. You wouldn't have if you took the time to focus off of that ass and off of them breasts and off of that mouth. You know, so pretty. You focus on it and know your mate. Then you can read your mate and know how to communicate and say, "Hey, let's have a sit down. See where we at. You know, let's see what's going on." Then you focus on that. A lot of people just get married because of lust. And that's what it is. And that's why they fail in marriages so much. And that's why men and men will cheat. It's just that, and there's different forms of cheating, not just sex. And also, let me tell you this. Now, also, when men cheat, like for Jeezy, I think he lying to sell his book, okay? Real niggas don't cheat, but they make agreements. And they make arrangements. And they get friends. That's what they do. And if they can get a hoe on the side, a bitch that don't mind being a side chick, then it's an agreement. And they can get away with it and a real good nigga can get away with it for a long time. A long time.
Say it.
And the reason why he might step out and do a little bit, he don't want to leave his woman. No, some of them don't want to just leave because you know why? He done built with this one, but he want the freak over here for a second. It's like saying you got apple pie at home, but sometimes you want to go get that peach cobbler. So that's why. So and women can do anything and everything this man won't. Damn near wash his ass.
Yep.
And he can still step out and cheat or have that phone. How that phone go, ladies? Don't it go like this?
They choose better men.
Yeah.
They go just like this.
Choose better men.
So don't play. Don't come on here. We're gonna keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
Let's keep it 1,000.
Keep it 1,000.
Real quick.
Because that granddaddy, how many of them granddaddies had other kids and other families, households, otherwhere? You know what I'm saying? So it's everywhere else.
I'm a product of that.
And those were the grandmas who said our grandmothers were better. If y'all be like our grandmothers, we would treat you better. The grandmothers got cheated up left and right. So come on.
Right.
Come on.
But and then to top on, just want attention. That's all it is. They just want attention. and when they ain't getting that attention, now let me tell you. Now sometimes there are some women. Now I ain't gonna lie. I've touched on this. That can be a bitch as soon as he walk in the door, and she just want to do this and that. But see, if you're a seasoned woman, and you know how to get it, because I had to go through my 20s and 30s to get it right. So you wait till that nigga get his shower. Let him take his shower. Let that nigga eat. Let his stomach get right. And when he lay his head on that pillow, babe, can we talk for a second? Oh yeah, babe. And if you really want to be a good bitch, keep your hand on his dick for a minute while you talking to him. And go ahead and then let him know what the issues you have that need to be changed. That's how you do it, because you still want to get yours.
That's how you get their attention, Hundy. That's how you get their attention.
That's how you do that shit. You don't have to do all this. Don't do all this. Right. Be quiet and be nice about it. Let him get comfortable. And then you work, and that's how you can communicate. It don't mean that, he's, and just like for the one that says that he's working a whole lot, and it's like, okay, well, you chose that woman. Go in there and sit down and have a talk with her and tell her, babe, but if you come in there like, we got to talk because your ass ain't doing it. Well, you allowed her to get away with it.
But that's the thing. So what if you have this conversation and they refuse? Because again, there are people who believe that, let's just keep it all the way funky. There's some women who believe that their shit don't stink. They think that they're literally God's gift to a nigga.
Some do, but maybe that ain't the one for you. Then that ain't the one for you.
No, so what I'm saying, so for the ones who pretty much had these conversations, like let's just hypothetically say that they do talk and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and they refuse to change. Therefore, you get stuck in this predicament, and therefore there goes that growing resentment. There goes that distaste.
Then y'all need to separate for a while, and that's what she got to do. She got to start defending for herself. But let's get back to where you ignored the red flags before you got before you got married. You ignored those red flags. So now that you thought they was going to go away, now them red flags done blew up into a whole.
Put a toothpick in there real quick, D. Put a toothpick because you just hit on very, 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 very key important thing. Dating, so you can see where the red flags are before you actually walk down the aisle and say I do. So like I think
dating and relationships are two different things. Dating and a commitment to a relationship is two different things.
Right.
No, but you can kind of see the person you dating. If you already know she like Louis Vuitton and this and that, and she not doing all that much, and she ain't grinding and helping you, or not even picking up the tab if y'all go out sometime and you date her long enough before you start just jumping into a relationship. You date her long enough, and you don't see her doing her part as in a date. Then why would you even want to? This shit's not going to change. Because now you know how she is. And she
Everybody mute. Go ahead, Will.
That's true if you're talking about somebody dating. I've been in a relationship. I was married for almost 20 years. Marquez been married over a decade. A lot of times, stuff is good in the beginning. It may be not the best, but it's tolerable. But I heard you say a couple of times, well, if she's like that, then you should have just left her. What happens when, because of life, because of kids, because of age, because of all these other things, that person that you was with at 18, 19, 20 is now someone totally different. Now we have to deal with it, because even when you started talking, the way that Marquez said his piece about not being able to communicate, you came right back and it was just like, well, and it's like a lot of times if we want to say something to you, we got to get that. We gonna get that lip. We gonna get that attitude. We gonna get that sass, and you got to sit there and take it, because we can't go back and talk to y'all the same way y'all talk to us. It'll be a whole different problem.
And that's what I was trying to say. That's true. But also too, like how you mentioned earlier, how your girl complain. That is an open door for communication. How you respond to that will determine how the rest of that conversation goes. Now, if you matching that energy that you don't, and if you matching her energy, even though you don't like it, guess what? Y'all are not going to communicate. It's going to be battle. And see, and my man know that, like, if I learned, because if I have that energy, he'll be quiet. And at that point, who else do I have to argue with when he quiet? Nobody. So it changed my the way I come at him, and then we can have a discussion. So if she's coming off right off the bat, kind of see it as an open door to where you hold the ball, you hold the key at that point. How you respond to her and vice versa is how that whole conversation is gonna go. And sometimes y'all have to even respect each other, where if it's gonna be a combat every single time, then maybe y'all need to separate and go to neutral corners for 5 to 10 minutes and then come back. But when you're in a relationship or you married, I agree. You should communicate first before y'all try to be like, okay, I'm out. But I also agree with D, and D has said this several times on podcasts that she's been on. This is why you get to know the person before you really need to figure out who the person is before you marry them, before you commit to a relationship with them. Dating, like I said, dating is before the relationship. You date somebody before you be like, okay, I want to take this to the next step, which is a relationship. That's dating is
F
first.
all that, because then again, you can date, right? You can date. You be dating for like a month or 2 or 3, and then we all know that 6-month switch comes, boom, and then they become a whole different other person. So we're gonna stop all that bullshit.
Dating, but
then
everybody does it. But thank you. And if you're dating and there's no commitment, y'all did not sit together and be like, I'm your woman and you're my man and you're dating. You can exit. But once that commitment, don't pull that crap on me. And if I'm your woman and you be like, oh, well, this and this, and I'm just going, no, we made a commitment. So we need to sit down and discuss and to talk before we walk away. Because after the relationship, the next step is a marriage. And this is the practice. Like you said, it's the practice ground, right? Dating, I have no commitment to you. I can date him, her, whoever I want to date, if we're just dating. But if I'm committed to you, I'm committed to you, and I'm trying to make this work. And we're going to communicate to try to make this work until we can communicate no more. and then we're gone.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick. It seems like there's a lot of man bashing going on real quick.
Oh my God!
Stop y'all.
Oh God!
Stop y'all.
I'm talking about you.
God damn it! Shit. I know he ain't
real men
saying.
cheat.
No,
Oh my gosh.
on a serious note. You also have to factor in that, some people don't change in a relationship. Sometimes you do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There comes, depending on when you start this relationship, like early relationships usually suffer with this the most. Early marriages usually suffer with this the most. One of the parties is going to want to elevate to another platform or another direction in life, and when that person is not willing to come along or contribute, or they become a hindrance to that, that's also a very determining factor. That has nothing to do with dating. That has nothing to do. Like when I met you, we was cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was toxic together, that shit was fun and it was great. But as I transitioned to over here to do something else, you know what I mean? And now I want to, become this or that, and I want to take my life in a different direction. And you can't facilitate that. It's not necessarily a dating problem. That's a human evolution problem. That's a growth problem.
Exactly.
And a lot of that can stem from that too. Like a lot of people don't grow well together.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You have to grow together. Exactly. Yeah. And how you do that is you got to communicate. And if you're going to see those red flags in the beginning. We don't see it because that's when you got them little butterflies and all this and that, and you smelling the perfume and all this. It's just that you have to put in that time. And like I tell people, take a road trip together. It's gonna make or break your relationship. You're gonna know there's a person for you.
But you like motherfucker.
Real quick.
Exactly.
Sitting
take
in the
a
car
road
real
trip.
quick.
For 8 hours.
For hours. You're stuck.
You'll figure it out real
stuck.
Yeah,
I ain't talking to
She
Vegas.
is right. No, like a real one where you just stuck. You can't get out the car and walk home at that point. You just
play the song one more time. She ain't your ass walk. Like play it one more time.
No, Vegas is a road trip. You gotta sit 3 to 4 or 5 hours with that person in the car.
No, you need days. I agree with you. Days. Take a trip to Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, somewhere around
Nah, because that's too long, man. Like,
no,
that's the point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the point.
That's the problem. So
I mean, you gamble. You taking a gamble. Like, what if this person really just irk your nerve, and you're a gentleman. You don't want to tell this person, "Yo, get out of my ride." You know what I mean? Or, dang, that's a long way back. At least in Vegas. At least in Vegas, they can get a Greyhound or something.
It's the same thing when you're in a marriage. You got to be in the same thing. Because I even used to say, dang, I got to go to bed with this fool and I'm mad. When you living together, even that, and I was going to touch on that too, Edward, even in some states, if you live together and you're not married, and after 6 months, you can't just up and leave. It's like a marriage because Texas is one of those states.
Common law.
And you ain't have to say nothing. Y'all don't have to do anything, but trust me, look it up. It'll tell you after 6 months.
2 years,
they recognize us.
Yeah,
they recognize
California's 2 years.
A toothbrush in the home.
And they should.
Is that why you girls do that?
I think
whatever.
Y'all got a choice. Y'all got a choice. And at the end of the day, cheating is a damn choice. It's a choice.
Yeah, it is.
You either choose to cheat or you don't. I don't care what type of circumstance it is. It's a choice. You either make grown man decisions or you don't. You either make grown woman decisions or you don't.
Hold on, say, y'all. Hold on. We have a very special guest in the house. He's late to the party tonight. We want to introduce MC.
What's good?
Toes.
Good.
What's up, Mel?
We out here. We out here. Stay inside.
Yeah, you out there.
We out here.
What you got to say, brother?
Hiding. You undercover?
He is, man. He's back. Damn it, here goes the damn
He the
Melvin
toes
mode.
bandit. He's a toes bandit. He can't be seen on
camera. We didn't upgrade it. We got a whole new platform, a whole new look, and now we're back doing the same old shit.
You walked into the darkness.
Because I had to go outside.
You purposely walked out to the darkest place you could find. On purpose, sir. You did. You was just under a light. You purposely.
Okay. I'll move over here. There, now you can see me better, right?
All right, what you got to say, brother?
No, I'm just listening. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No,
you gonna blow his cover, man. You know
on the topic, on this.
He on a toes mission.
Hold on,
it's all
y'all.
about the toes. It's all about the cartel. But when everybody says, "Hey, look at your partner, date him," for best example, Tyrese, she said, "Oh, I love you. I'm gonna sign this prenup," and now look, she left him for no reason, trying to get $20K a month in child support and another $100K in spousal support. And he thought he knew her. They dated forever. She signed the prenup. So a lot of people switch it up once they get that title of, "Hey, I'm married. I don't have to do shit now. I don't have to put in work. I don't have to do nothing." And so that's all I have to say about that. But the other thing
I agree
about
with you, Melvin.
the other thing about the cheating part, I wrote in there, I was like, what is the threshold for a good man, like a real nigga? What's the threshold? Is it dating somebody flirting with somebody at work? Is it texting? Is it physical? Is it emotional? And then I threw out the example of, hey, Bill Gates cheated on his wife, but he saved millions of kids from polio. Is he a real good guy, or is he still a piece of shit? And so it's like, what are the categories? Ooh. And every time we try to judge somebody and be like, "Oh, well, he's a good guy." Well, look at Jeezy. He got married for 2 years, had a baby, and now that relationship ended. So now he has 4 kids with 3 or 4 different women. How is that conducive to the environment of his family? So why am I going to take moral advice from somebody that can't even hold a home down? So it's just it doesn't make any sense. We put these categories and judge these people, but it's like, who's Jeezy? A drug dealer that can't stay in one home. I can say that, and other people will be like, he's the best rapper, he's the best, he's a good role model. So everybody has a different perspective. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about people's relationship. I just care about mine. That's it. Everybody, you can do whatever.
I heard that.
You can do whatever you want with yours, but I do whatever I want with mine. Some people think I'm a piece of shit. Some people think I'm the coolest guy. Some people think I'm pro-black. Some people think I'm not pro-black because I have a white wife. So it's like, what do I care what people think? If they don't like me,
Melvin.
If they don't like me, fuck them. That's my policy. You ride with me or you die with me. That's it. So life's too short to be worrying about what everybody thinks. So Jezzy,
I got the Melvin tees for $5. I'm gonna be posting up the link for $5.
Oh yes. Bro, I forgot all about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot those.
Yeah, you gotta be careful though. You're gonna blow Melvin's cover. You know what I'm saying?
I'm out here.
I know,
He's trying to bring down the cartel right now.
That's exactly what he looked like.
That's why you over there in the shadows.
Yep, he looked like he got
any drugs.
Melvin and
anybody got any drugs?
He got a full beard. He out there.
I look homeless.
Right.
He got the penalty.
He is incognito.
You got incognito and high socks right now.
I'm just glad we got the 3 Cent crew finally all back together underneath one roof.
Yeah, you were missed, honey.
Real quick.
Had a lot going on.
We appreciate your service, sir.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your service, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out to all the veterans out there. I'm totally remiss for not saying my fault. Shout out to all the veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
salute to my pops, sir.
Today's the Marine Corps birthday. Tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Yeah, so we all fucked up today. So
hoorah.
Man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Okay.
All right, man.
How we doing?
Your mission, man. We ain't want to hold you up too long.
No, I'm just chilling. I was helping clean up. I was cleaning up my house. I have to go pick up my dad from the airport. He's flying in from Panama, so I wasn't gonna put on good clothes to. I was cleaning his house as a surprise. So you're
a good son, Toes.
Man.
See, everybody else says I'm a piece of shit because I steal his money. You know?
You cracked me.
You know what?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
You gotta lead with that.
Hold on.
But let me say something.
Go ahead, Adoration.
Melvin brought up earlier that you got Bill Gates helping people but cheating on his wife. I think that people can be both a good person and a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
that's my point.
but I really
That's my point. There's
I was
a
talking to my
category.
friend today because I always talk to people. I'm always talking life into people and speaking life and this and that. But I was talking to my friend today, and I'm like, you know what? At the same time, I gotta start talking shit.
Yeah,
like I gotta start talking shit about people at the same time. So you can be a piece of shit and a great person at the same time, and those piece of shit ways don't excuse you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I did this good stuff, so I'm good now. That doesn't excuse you. You still got problem. You still, you know what I mean?
You still flawed. You're a flawed person.
Everybody's flawed. Yes.
So we can say that this is not good. Flawed. Does that make this a bad person? Maybe
exactly.
Not. But this is not good.
That's what I always say is like, what's the threshold for that? Like, what's a good person? And so I don't know what a good person is, so I just try to be a good person. To what I live, my standards I live up. I can't live up to anybody else. I could just live up to how I was raised and how I learned and what I think about things. Because some things I think about, my parents are totally different. They're old Catholic people. You got to stay together no matter what. And I'm like, hey, I don't know about all that. 55 is a long time to be married.
Right.
I take my Bible seriously. It does not say that in the Bible.
No, the Bible doesn't have term limits on a marriage. It should.
No.
Because that shit, 55 years is too long. You need to upgrade a cell phone.
Marriage is supposed to be for life.
Nah, marriage needs to be updated like an iPhone plan.
It doesn't say that in the Bible. I think we get a lot of stuff from our traditions, but there's a lot of stuff that does not say that in the Bible.
Exactly.
Till death do us part. It's right there in the Bible. Again, that's what we say. I don't know where you don't. Till death do us part, and that's pretty much solidifies meaning till death do you part.
We say that at the altar, but
again, we're not going to twist up the Bible when it says till death do you part. Till death do you part. Anyway,
I'm gonna look it up. Now they got me thinking. Now I gotta look it up.
Weekend, it's the gig of Google it.
There is no but. There is no but. It's till death do you part. We can look it up. Yeah. We can. That could be a whole nother topic. Till death do you part.
Like homework. Homework.
Do you get the weekends off? Like, do you get the weekends off? Or
through sickness and health?
You gotta write that in your vows.
Through death do you part.
You gotta put it in the
vows say, when I get tired of you, I'm gonna upgrade like a cell phone plan. I'm gonna get a new screen.
Whoa.
Gonna be faster processor, better connection.
No, that's right.
But yeah. So we are rounding out of time. I don't think we're gonna get to the third topic.
What's the